All right, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to your Valley News Now digital update. I'm Devin Fry. We begin here locally. Now a candlelight vigil set to take place in Moorhead in honor of Renee Good, the victim of a fatal shooting involving ICE agents in Minneapolis this week. Jessica Bringy's on scene right now before that event gets underway and brings us the very latest as we prepare for this. Jessica, how's it looking out there so far?
It's actually, Devin, it's quite active, surprisingly. The event hasn't even started. You can see cars streaming in behind me. We've got a group of people gathering, setting up for the event, which officially gets underway at 4. As you mentioned, this is going to be a memorial vigil event in honor of Renee Good. She's the 37-year-old mother of 3 who was shot and killed during an ICE operation in Minneapolis. City leaders in Minneapolis saying she was a victim who was trying to get out of that situation. Meanwhile, the Trump administration saying that she was impeding ICE operations in that area. However, tonight, the community coming together to pay respects, to remember, and also speak out. As I mentioned, they are just setting up. This is the group indivisible.org. They've got a group in Fargo as well as in Moorhead. If you want to come this way, we want to speak with one of the safety coordinators. We've got Josh here. Josh, if I can pull you in for us here. Hi. So you are in charge of making sure that safety is top-notch here.
I'm in charge of safety today. We've got a group of people who have volunteered to ensure that our protests and demonstrations are done safely, and both ensure that the people participating are doing safely, and that if we mitigate anything that comes up.
What are you expecting as far as turnout today?
It all depends. We've been the Fire to Fridays have been going on since January. Through Indivisible, all around Fargo Moorhead. Usually between 4:30 and 5:30, you'll see us at one corner or the other, usually at the Burdick courthouse or across from Fishbox office here. We've been called garbage. We've been called paid protesters. We've been called domestic terrorists. We're none of those things. We are local citizens that are live in the community and are concerned about the community and are sick of the dangers that ICE is imposing on our community.
And would you say, especially given the situation in Minneapolis, safety is top of mind? I see everyone here wearing orange vests. What are the steps you're taking to make sure that you're even able to hold these types of events with a larger community turnout safely?
Well, we advocate nonviolence, civil protesting. We're not blocking traffic. We're not, protesting on private property. We're out in public. We're out in public spaces where it's free to express our First Amendment rights. And then we do planning depending on, like for the No Kings protest, we had a layout to make sure that we were distributed across the crowd and keeping track of things that were going on. We had evacuation plans if something major came through, and then we have walkie-talkies so we can communicate across the crowd. And again, we're all volunteers. This is all self-funded work, and we all have day jobs. So we're trying to hold those down while all this is going on as well.
What does this event mean to you? You've obviously done the behind-the-scenes work here, getting this event put together. But what does it mean to actually hold this memorial event?
Well, it is not a question at all that ICE is coming into our communities to look for a fight and to scare people and to harm and hurt people in our communities. And that's just not acceptable. That's not what America is. We don't have secret police coming through our neighborhoods and just picking up people at random with no due process, no explanation, no even checking if they're grabbing the right person. We've seen multiple cases where they've grabbed citizens just based on the color of their skin. They've deported people that have right to be here. They're picky. They're not targeting criminals because they're showing up at people at their court appointments. They're showing at people at their places of work. I just heard that ICE actually raided the produce factories out in Perham today. I'm like, how does that help our economy if we don't have anybody that can work those factory jobs and process that those turkeys for the farmers that grew them?
So really, you're just getting a presence out here to make sure that other people know that you're noticing and you care.
Yep.
All right. Thank you so much for your time, Josh. We appreciate it. Again, this is on the corner here of 24th Avenue South, right next to Burger King. This event will be getting underway in about 15 minutes here at 4 o'clock and running until 5:30. Once again, a memorial event in remembrance of Renee Good. For Valley News Now, I'm Jessica Bringy. Devin, I'll send it back to you.
Jessica, thank you so much for that live report. We're going to continue to follow the latest on this incident out in Minneapolis. As a matter of fact, we have the latest for you on this right now. The big story coming out from today, another video of the incident involving the fatal shooting of Renee Good. This video from the perspective of the ICE agent involved in the shooting. We're going to go ahead and play this for you right now from CBS News as the situation in the Twin Cities continues to develop.
A moment of silence Friday for Renee Nicole Good from families and educators in Minneapolis, followed by calls for ICE to leave.
We want them out of our neighborhoods, out of our schools, and out of our state.
Friday, Good's wife gave a statement to Minnesota Public Radio saying in part, "We stopped to support our neighbors. We had whistles. They had guns." Vice President J.D. Vance reposted this video taken by the ICE agent and released by a media outlet called Alpha News.
That's fine, dude. I'm not mad at you.
That's Good inside the SUV and her wife outside the vehicle talking to the ICE officer before the shooting.
I say go get yourself some lunch, big boy. Go ahead.
Out of the car.
Another officer orders Good out of the SUV and she starts to drive. Earlier Friday, Mayor Jacob Frey criticized the Trump administration's decision to remove state authorities from the shooting investigation.
This is not a time to hide from the facts. This is a time to embrace them, making sure that we're pushing for transparency every step of the way.
CBS News has confirmed the agent who shot Good is Jonathan Ross, who has worked with ICE in Minnesota for nearly a decade and was involved in another vehicle-related incident last June. Court documents show he was dragged approximately 100 yards with his arm inside a car while trying to execute an immigration warrant. Asher Qureshi, CBS News, Minneapolis.
Now, as far as the Minnesota investigation side of this goes, the state attorney general and the Hennepin County attorney say that local agencies are still conducting their own investigation. They do say it's going to be difficult with now the FBI in full control of that. We'll see how that situation continues to develop as well as we follow this out of Minneapolis. Some good weather news today. Things continuing to warm up. I know it's been 27 degrees in each of my last two shows, but today we got a new record for the Valley News Now desk in January of 2026. That's a prestigious honor. 32 degrees right now. Let's go over to Valley News Live's meteorologist Summer Schnellbach with more about these weather conditions, how long we can expect this warmth to continue. Hopefully a long time. Let's see what Summer has to say.
Some changes are on the way for this weekend. We're talking about some snow showers in parts of the valley today and into tomorrow. But tomorrow we're going to see some colder weather. Temperatures in the teens remaining pretty steady or falling in a few locations, and the wind picks up too, so it's going to feel colder than the teens. We could see some gusts over 30 miles per hour, and in some areas where we see that fresh snow, could see some patchy blowing snow that could impact visibility in a couple of spots. Sunday morning we start cold, but then we warm right back up. A warm front pushes us back into the 20s to near 30, mid 30s to near 40 degrees on Monday. Late Monday into Tuesday is when we're watching our next system. That could bring some wintry weather, and depending on temperatures at your location, you could see just rain with those highs in the mid 30s, and we stay pretty steady Monday night into Tuesday as far as temperatures go. A little quieter Wednesday, and then tracking another system that could bring more wintry mix into Thursday and Friday, along with more temperature changes too. Tune into Valley News Live this evening for that latest forecast.
I will. Thank you for that, Summer. Now, moving on to real quickly now, before we, obviously the big story of the day, one of the big stories of the day, I should say, a fatal shark attack involving a woman from Detroit Lakes, Minnesota. But we do have some more local headlines that we've been working on here in the Valley News Live newsroom. We're going to start out in Clay County. This one coming from a press release from Sheriff Mark Empting. A man is dead after a house fire in rural Clay County early this morning. Dispatchers told responders that an adult male was trapped inside. A deputy did enter the home when he arrived on scene, but had to leave because of the thick smoke. Firefighters later found the man's body in a bedroom. He was pronounced dead at the scene. The state fire marshal's office is currently investigating this. An update to a story we had a few months ago. I remember this one being very noteworthy when it came in just because of the bizarreness of it, if that's a word. Bizarreness? It is now. We did know that months ago fetal remains were found in Jamestown, sparking this investigation. We now have the findings of that investigation from the Jamestown Police Department. Officials say that the human fetus remains found last November were stillborn. The state medical examiner determined that the male fetus, which was about 34 weeks of gestation, died from intrauterine fetal demise associated with issues with the umbilical cord. No evidence of inflicted trauma was found. The criminal investigation has been suspended. Now, one very interesting thing of this, they said that it was found in a jar with markings on the jar that indicated that it was from, I believe it said the 1940s. So investigators still don't know why the remains were placed in a jar with preservatives in it at that location, but we do know that at least no foul play is suspected in that investigation. Another piece of news here came in this morning. Cass County Sheriff Jesse Johnner announced that he is going to be seeking re-election in 2026, citing goals of public safety, transparency, and fiscal responsibility. Johnner is currently in his 4th year of his 2nd term. He thanked the community for its support as he seeks re-election coming up this year. Now, obviously, the story that made the headlines this morning, a fatal shark attack in the Virgin Islands involving a woman from Detroit Lakes, Minnesota. Not something I expected to see in January. Shocking news involving that woman from Detroit Lakes. Arlene Lillis, attacked by a shark while snorkeling at St. Croix in the U.S. Virgin Islands. Jessica Bringy's back with us. She caught up with Anna Ballweber earlier today, who's been diving into this story and brings us more on what we can expect coming up tonight on Valley News Live.
No. Shark attacks. Her left arm's gone. Left arm is gone. Left arm is gone.
We just heard some really disturbing, alarming sound from this video out of the U.S. Virgin Islands. Anna, a Detroit Lakes woman died in a horrific way. I think this is everyone's travel nightmare.
Yeah, this is the craziest thing I've heard. She's from Detroit Lakes. She went to the U.S. Virgin Islands. They're kind of doing like a snowbird kind of thing where they live in Detroit Lakes in the summer. In the winter, they were going to stay until May in the U.S. Virgin Islands. And she went snorkeling. You can kind of see a little bit in this video here of kind of the chaos that was unfolding at this scene. So this is coming from the Virgin Island source. And you can see here, there's the fire department on scene. And as this kind of loops around, you can see there's dozens of people here that are coming to her aid. I think we still have the fire department. There we go. So there's a lot of people here.
I will stop just in front of here. We actually are hearing too from one of the individuals on the beach, correct?
Correct. Yes. He came to her aid. You could hear in the background people saying, "Give me a tourniquet, get me a tourniquet." And his sound it's scary. It's very scary to hear something like that.
And not only that, you were at her house earlier today.
Yes. Yep. I went there just to talk to neighbors because, Detroit Lakes, I think small town. I don't think it's that small, but I think small town. Yeah. And they live on a lake. So I wanted to talk to some of her neighbors, the people who were closest to her. And it was a tough conversation. She said, the neighborhood's going to be a lot different moving forward, and it's going to be much quieter.
And I know we're also going to hear about her own snorkeling experience because she wasn't a newbie to this.
No.
At all. So
Nope.
You're going to have more sound from the neighbors. We will hear from one, like we said, individual witness on the beach. And this is all coming up at what time now?
6 o'clock tonight. It'll be our top story, lead story of the night.
All right. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Very good work by Anna today to get those interviews and continue to stay on this bizarre story, not something that we see every day. Now, you can start to hear more from that story coming up here in just a few minutes. We got about 9 minutes before Valley News Live at 4 starts, so be sure to stay tuned. We're also, of course, obviously Anna's full story is going to be coming up at 6. We've got shows at 5, 9, and 10 as well. Also, be sure to stay tuned with us on the TV side of things as we continue to follow that candlelight vigil, that memorial for Renee Good that our reporters are at right now. But that's going to do it for me here at Valley News Now. We normally check on the road conditions as you're ready to go out the door. 9 minutes until 4, but all greens across the board today. So we're going to go ahead and close this one out. Thank you so much for joining me. We'll see you next week. Hope you all have a great weekend. We'll see you Monday for your Valley News Now digital update. I'm Devin Fry.